Indie Mogul.
San Diego Comic-Con. It's the mother of all comic book conventions that has morphed into a pop culture mega event covering comics, television, and movies. Yes, while Disney, Marvel, and Warner Bros. DC aren't going to be presenting at this year's convention, plenty of other studios are planning to make a splash. So whether you're going to be at Comic-Con like me, or if you'll be following the headlines and watching the brand new movie footage from home, here's a list of the big movie panels to keep an eye on. In recent years, Twilight has made its presence known at Comic-Con, and the influx of Twilight fans has irked many attendees. However, this increased female presence has created a renewed focus on fangirls, which is reflected in many of the panels at this year's convention, including the return of Twilight. On Thursday at 11:15 a.m. in Hall H, Summit Entertainment will offer a sneak peek of Breaking Dawn Part 1, followed by a Q&A with the cast. Now, if you're more interested in gore than sparkles, catch the focus on Rick Baker at 12:15 p.m. in the Indigo Ballroom over at the Hilton San Diego Bayfront. This Oscar-winning makeup artist will be on hand to talk about his latest film, Men in Black 3. Then at 12:45 p.m. back in Hall H, Sony Pictures Animation will showcase their upcoming films Arthur Christmas, a new take on Santa and his family, and The Pirates Band of Misfits, a stop-motion animated film which features Hugh Grant as an enthusiastic yet unsuccessful pirate captain. Directly afterwards at 2 p.m., Film District stakes out a claim on the fabled Hall H. Hot off of their horror hit Insidious, Film District will put the spotlight on their upcoming films Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, produced by Guillermo del Toro, and Drive, starring Ryan Gosling and Carey Mulligan. Then at 3:15 p.m., 20th Century Fox takes over Hall H. While they're keeping their programming under wraps, expect sneak previews and special guest stars as Fox discusses their 2011 and 2012 slates. Later at 6 p.m. in Hall H, Entertainment Weekly hosts a discussion between filmmakers Jon Favreau and Guillermo del Toro. Now, Favreau has promised that Cowboys and Aliens will be premiering at San Diego Comic-Con, but it's not currently on the schedule. Will this panel be where the screening goes down? Finally, at 7 p.m. in room 5AB, meet screenwriters Thomas Lennon and Robert Ben Garant. Now, you might know them as the stars of Reno 911, but they've also written some big mainstream hits. Join them as they discuss their successful screenwriting careers and brand new book, Writing Movies for Fun and Profit. Relativity Media has been making headlines recently as it brazenly moves up the ranks in Hollywood. Now they're coming to Hall H on Friday at 12:15 p.m. with a look at two of their upcoming films. Raven with John Cusack starring as Edgar Allan Poe, and Haywire, the latest film from Steven Soderbergh, which stars mixed martial arts superstar and former American gladiator Gina Carano. Then at 12:45 p.m. in room 6BCF, Legendary Pictures makes their first ever Comic-Con appearance. This top-notch production company will treat fans to sneak peeks of their upcoming films like Pacific Rim, Paradise Lost, and Mass Effect. And at 1:30 p.m., it's back to Hall H for the Screen Gems panel, where they'll showcase Underworld 4, starring Kate Beckinsale, and Attack the Block from producer Edgar Wright. Right after that, also in Hall H, DreamWorks puts the spotlight on Fright Night, starring Colin Farrell, Anton Yelchin, and McLovin. At 3:30 p.m., you might want to head over to Marriott Hall 2 in the Marriott Marquis in Marina for the Military in Film panel. Join real members of the U.S. military as they talk about their involvement in movies like Avatar, Battleship, Transformers, and the upcoming Avengers. Now, if you're looking for news on The Dark Knight Rises, catch The Boy Who Loved Batman at 4 p.m. in room 4. Michael Uslan talks about how he went from being a fan to producing Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. Also at 4 p.m., there's Sony's panel over in Hall H, which will feature sneak peeks as well as cast appearances for their upcoming movies Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, 30 Minutes or Less, the Total Recall remake, and The Amazing Spider-Man. Then, for those of you who like to go behind the scenes, at 5 p.m. in room 23ABC, you can meet the storyboard artists behind such hits as Thor, Transformers 3, and the upcoming John Carter of Mars. Finally, at 6:45 p.m. in Hall H, it's at the Drive-In, where up-and-coming genre filmmakers get the chance to share their work. This year, Comic-Con will be screening Grave Encounters, which premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival, and Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, which debuted at Sundance. On Saturday, Relativity Media is back in Hall H with a panel focused solely on Immortals, their upcoming Roman Sandals action pick starring the new Superman, Henry Cavill. Then right afterwards in Hall H, get a sneak peek of Knights of Badassdom, an indie fantasy adventure coming out next year. Stars Ryan Quanten, Peter Dinklage, Steve Zahn, Summer Glau, and Danny Pudi will all be on hand for the panel. And right after that, also in Hall H, Universal Pictures leaps ahead in its race against Relativity Media to produce the next great Snow White movie. This presence at Comic-Con will surely help Snow White and the Huntsmen take the lead in audience recognition, and might just prompt Relativity to discuss their own Snow White movie at their own panels. Then on Sunday, while there might not be any big movie panels, you can check out the panel that I'll be hosting. Yes, at 11:15 a.m. in room 5AB, as the host and writer of Marvel's weekly web show The Watcher, I'll be hosting their Women of Marvel panel presented by Oxygen. You can also find me periodically at the Marvel booth as well as out and about on the convention floor. So what movie are you the most excited to hear about at Comic-Con? Write your thoughts down below and I'll pick 6 people to receive one of Mimoco's brand new Transformers Mimobots. Not only do these USB drives hold 2 gigabytes worth, but they come loaded with classic comics, videos, screensavers, and more. Plus be sure to check out the Mimoco giveaways at San Diego Comic-Con via the link below. I'm Grace Randolph and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.